Hey, good evening everybody. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make a carrot cake. There are some people that think carrot cake can only be made one way. Okay, that it is a traditional food that must have nuts and must have nutmeg and must have cream cheese icing. Well, mine doesn't because I don't like nutmeg and I'm not terribly fond of nuts. And I think everyone would agree I really don't need to be eating cream cheese icing. The product comes out really well, even though, and if you want to, here's the ingredients. I will add the optional, if you like those things, that you can use after. Except for the cream cheese icing, because I'd have to do a separate recipe. After that's done, I always get my pan ready beforehand so it's ready to go when I need it. And I do love these squares of parchment. When I run out, I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably pre-cut some. So if you've got one of these, the easiest way to do it is push it into the corners and then fold it down. Fold it down, turn the pan around, do the same thing. Now what this does is ensures that your paper stays put when you pour the batter in, because you really don't want to be messing around with it at that stage. So measure and mix the flour, salt, baking powder, and baking soda in a bowl. And once you got those together, just stir them up gently with a spoon and set that aside. Add the sugars to the bowl. Break those up and mix those up briefly with the whisk. Add the cinnamon. Now I find this much easier to do as 3/2 teaspoons for the simple reason that the 1 teaspoon does not fit in the container. So half, 1, 1.5. In my experiments I did start with 2 and the flavor was just overpowering. So I cut it back to this and it comes out quite nicely. Vanilla. Stir that up briefly. Oil. And I know this seems like a lot, but I did some research for this and their recipes, believe it or not, they use more than this, which I think is why they come out really greasy. So whisk the oil into the sugar briefly. Crack in the eggs and whisk those up. Now you don't have to go at this too much right now because you're going to be grating the carrots and that's going to take a while. And while you do that, any bits that may want to dissolve will go along by themselves for the most part. And a word of caution to you, when I did the experiment on this, I only had baby carrots, and that's, I ended up grating in part of my finger. That must have been the secret ingredient. So I got big carrots for this today. You're going to need 3 cups of peeled and grated carrots. What I do is I'll do 2 or 3 at a time. There's no point in getting too many of these ready. And unless you're planning to cook something with them. So I'll do these 3 to start and then eyeball it and see where we are. And for this, just cut the ends off. And since you're peeling them, it's not strictly necessary to wash them, because anything on the peel is going out too. Now I'm just going to get started here to show you. Now, if you got a 3-sided grater like I do, the big one's used for cheese. The really tiny one, if you are going to use nutmeg, is for that. You don't need to buy a special one. And the carrot one for the cake is that medium one that you never use at all. So, grasping a carrot firmly, I'm going to see how, I'll just try this one, and then I'm going to sit down at a camera so you can get the idea. So much better than baby carrots. Pretty quick. So just tap it down, and that is the consistency that you're going to have in your cake. So I'll just keep going with the rest there. Well, those 3 are nearly done. I got them this far. I'm not grating any fingers tonight. So I've got a cup and a bit. So 4 more should do it. Well, I'm about grated out, so let's just see how much that is, and if it's close enough, I'm just going. Yes, 3 cups. So that was 7 good sized carrots. I would err on the side of caution and get a couple extras for mishaps. All the grating is done, the counter's cleaned up. Make sure that you got a spatula at hand. You're going to need it for the pan. So first thing to do is stir up your eggs and sugars and oil that has gotten really nice and glossy while it's been sitting. 2 portions should do it. I just put in about half. Stir that in quickly. And of course, with any batter like this, the clock is ticking as soon as wet hits dry. Okay, as soon as that's nearly in, and nearly means there's a couple of dry spots and don't matter, just tap out your whisk. Now if I'm going to lose a spoon of batter in the ball whisk, oh well, don't matter. Toss in your carrots with the spatula. Mix that up really quickly. And if you were going to put nuts in, this is where you do it. And if you were going to put nutmeg in, you would have put it in with the cinnamon. And another reason I'm doing like this is not just because I like it this way, it's just to show that for all those people say you must make a recipe like this. No, you don't have to. Make it however you want. Okay, and if they don't like it, don't give them any. Once you've got that poured in, now that looks like a hard piece of brown sugar, so I'm just going to pick that out. That was just one. I think everything else looks fine. Use your spatula to quickly even it out. Gravity can be your friend here. You can use it to tip the batter, but the spatula is more reliable. And when it looks nice and even, see, it's already forming bubbles at the top. You don't want to lose that. That's your only leavening. Okay, good enough. It's going in. Hit your timer for 45 minutes. Okay, the alarm's gone off. Let's see what we've got. That's looking good so far. There we go. So that's looking fairly nice. I do have to let that cool down quite a bit before I can take it out of the pan and cut it, or it's just going to fall apart. It's actually pretty dark outside now, so I'm just going to do this right on the stove under a good light. Pick it up by both corners. If you do that, it won't break. And let's just get in here and I'll zoom a bit and just cut off a piece to show you. You can see it's got a really nice texture. And it comes off very moist, really springy, lovely to look at. And if you do like frosting with it, by all means go ahead. I don't think it's really necessary when the cake tastes this good. And I will have a bite. That's really good. Okay, so that's how I make carrot cake. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again.